today I'm going to break down some incredible, technology that God built, right, for us to enjoy. But that technology is the information highway, energetic highway, where we all communicate and engage and connect and relate and transact spiritually, energetically. That technology, the invisible layer. Remember, you are holding phone and technology, you're listening to me right now. Information is passing through your phone. You can hear me. But there's another communication layer that is also an active. That one is the energetic spiritual one, because you actually have to connect there before you can even use man-made technology to connect. So I'll go and I'll explain that, because today's topic, I played a lot with the title. Yes, I want to talk about soul tie. And basically, Tim, you are the one yesterday when we got talking, we were talking about people pleasing. I was talking about people pleasing and teaching on that. And then when you brought the soul tie workbook on, remember I said people pleasing is a type of soul tie. There are many types. When I said that, and then in the evening, I was like, okay, let me unpack it more. Soul tie within the context of emotional freedom, spiritual laws, spiritual transactions, and the communication layer, because everybody in the world is connected, just so you know. Everybody, every human here on earth, you are connected. If you think about the concept of LinkedIn and all this social network, you are connected to 10 people. 10 people are connected to 100 people. 100 people are connected to a billion. So when you say first, second, third connection, everybody is connected. You may be connected to a group of people as first connection. Your first connection have other connection. They have connection. They have connection. So every human is connected. And that connection, information is traveling. Energetic disposition is traveling. And so I'll talk about that, because bond of peace is the one that is influenced by God's spirit. Is that if you speak to people in love and respect, and you engage with people with up and up, that is positive soul tie. This concept of soul tie, I want to break down the science of it, because even the phrase, people have, because of ignorance, the way it is handled in religious circle is just funky. So what I want to do is I'll share it from a scientific standpoint, the science of spirituality, so that people can just understand that these are technologies given to you, created by God. People are abusing. It's just like the cell phone. If somebody picks up the cell phone and starts, instead of saying hello, greetings, and the person starts blasting you, it's an abuse, right? They are bringing the wrong information through that highway. Yes, but somebody can call you and say, I love you. How was your day? Right? Good, sweet dreams. You want to hear that message, right? If you see somebody's phone number, your reactivity will tell you the quality of that relationship. If you see the number, say, oh, dear, I want to pick it. The information coming at you through that technology is up and up. So you're excited. It creates chemistry in your body. Emotion is based on chemistry, chemical reactivity, your hormones, based on the information you are processing and the energy that brought that information. So I want to go more into the science of spirituality so that people can come out of spiritually awaken out of ignorance, because all of these things are happening on those technology, and if you continue to ignore it as if it doesn't exist, you're already under it. It's already ruling people, right? It's like if you say government doesn't exist, that's ignorance. All your laws, all the laws of the land, they are active. If you are ignorant of them, that's your issue. But active laws, active spiritual laws, they are active. If you are ignorant of them, it's all fault to you. So ignorance of these laws is why people become subject of it. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. But if you don't know that you are above laws, people live under stuff. So we'll go deep into that. But as we are talking, any other questions or take away from the previous session on people pleasing, commentary, anything you want me to dive deeper on? Because today's own is, I'm going to land a lot of powerful, like the most advanced, sophisticated side of all of this. Yeah? You're good? Miracle? Awesome? Yes? Team? Thoughts, questions from yesterday before I kick this off formally? Yeah, when you guys are chilling, I know like some people are processing some things. Miss Beverly? Listen, I know I took you guys on a ride, very, very right advanced. Today we're still going to go higher on this topic, because where God wants people to operate from, that's the place of freedom. You have to know these things to be free of their effects, their negative effects. If you don't know, you don't have the knowledge to handle it, and you don't have the power. Okay, who wants to speak? I'm seeing them. Okay, team, go on.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
It's not okay. I have two questions.
Okay.
One is based on my experience or what I'm experiencing today. The other one is just a point of note from the work, obviously.
Okay.
Okay. So for the experience, I noticed that there started to be some I wish I could demonstrate my hands vibrating fast, my shoulders sometimes vibrating as well, and then they're like bone cracks. You know how when there are sound of cracking or something going on, which also leads me.
Yeah, the connection. Yeah, team. The connectivity there.
To stretch, which also leads me to just my body.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's happened.
Okay. The connection.
Yeah,
let me type. Team, the connection is going in and out, but I caught something.
So as I stepped out, I was mentioning.
No, team,
vibrating
the connection. Let me type this so that your connection. Maybe you should type connection. But I picked one thing that you were saying. Type. Okay. Type the question. Sorry. Let me.
Okay. Let me can you hear me now?
We can hear this, but then it breaks, right? So
how about now? Is it still breaking?
Okay, go on now.
Okay, so what I was mentioning was hands vibrating very fast. Then shoulders vibrating as well.
Yes.
And then bone cracking, like when maybe something is being, and after a while it stops. Then later on it starts again. The hands vibrating, or the shoulders vibrating, and the hands vibrating as well. And then the bone cracks as well, sometimes at the leg region, sometimes at the foot region. So I'm just curious as to what's
okay. So that's one question. The second one is,
yes, the second one from the workbook. It was where you mentioned shielding people from the truth they need to face.
Shielding
That's
people
as regards. Yes, as regards people pleasing, that it's quite possible that people do that to shield people from the truth they need to face. And it got me thinking that are there aspects in my life that have been shielding people from the truth they need to face?
Okay, so let's start with that one. Remember, I said become an observer of life. Instead of being entangled and entrapped, where you cannot really fully grasp what's going on. When you come out, once you start observing people's behavior and you start attempting to understand who are they, what do they care about, why are they behaving the way they're behaving, why are they speaking the way they're speaking, what do they really want from you, from life, what are they pursuing, why are they acting? Because every behavior is driven by a desire. People don't just do things just for that. Every behavior, the back end is a desire. So what do they desire from you? You have that is a critical, because desire is where the transaction starts. It's desire for desire, spiritual transaction, all kinds of desire, right? Exchange of desire is the transaction. What do they want from you? What are they asking for? And what are you giving them? And if they're asking for something and you are not giving it to them, and they are not happy with you because you are not sourcing and feeding their desire. If they are asking, if their desire is to control you and you don't match, you don't want them to control you, will they be happy? No. Right? If they want to dominate you and you are saying no, but for you to say no, you have to have more power to resist. Because people who want to control, they don't respect the people they control. Whether spiritually, emotionally, any form of control. Control is not the spirit of God, but you have people in this world, they actually have a desire to be in charge and to be ruling people. Like that is a real desire. It's really driven by that king, the other club. That's all. Genesis 1, right? Adam, Eve. The only business that thing had was to strip them of their power and rule them. Jesus came and said, sin shall have no dominion over you. Sin shall have no dominion. Or to make you know, its number one desire is to dominate God's people upon the earth. And Jesus came to set people free from that. That's the whole point of salvation. Saving you from what? Living under sin, and sin has consequences. For you to be free from the influence of sin, you have to use the power of God that He has given you to be free. And you have to exercise your freedom. You understand? You have to exercise your freedom. Christians can sit in church and not exercise anything. And they are sitting on top of a bowl of all kinds of, because for you to be really free, you have to pack the power that you will use to resist. What are you resisting? Submit yourself under the mighty hand of God. Resist the devil. But if you don't resist, you are living in a world that already exists a certain way, that is driven and influenced a certain way. When you become a Christian, God is giving you the power to come from under the dominion of that world into the kingdom of our dear, right? Your freedom is in God's kingdom. But Jesus came to rescue His people from under the rulership, control, so that you can be free. So, becoming an observer of what is leading other people with their own behavior And when they are moving towards you, you need to be understanding, what does this person, if somebody knocks on your door, are you immediately going to say, you ask questions. Who are you? What do you want? What are you selling? And if you are not buying, you say, thank you, no, you close your door. But if the person doesn't let you close your door, that's where in God's kingdom, you need power to resist. You need power to resist. God's kingdom is a kingdom where God's power is fully functional. Jesus, right? Your Christian faith is backed by power. Do you understand? Power of God, rightly used, rightly right? Execute, right? You are going to use it based on laws. Those who don't honor the laws of God, they are in another club. That's why their behavior has consequences. That's why it is called sin. People who abuse God's law and power and use God's power recklessly in the ways God hasn't approved and getting results that they're in another club. What's happening in today's world is, because of ignorance, people are being recruited to that club without even submitting application. Hey. So that's that. So becoming an observer of people is, you will be wiser, be smarter, how you engage with people in the third dimension. You will not be, I always say, don't be gullible. Don't believe everything people are saying. Everything you are saying, how are you going to interpret it? Right? So wisdom will help you seek to understand what's motivating people and why are people doing what they're doing, so that you will know how to act. So that you even know what they are hungry for and what they want from you. And then there are also existing relationships that have been taking things. You've been in transactions, you didn't even know what you're transacting. Well, you have to know now. Yes. If I didn't answer it the way, right, you can always come, you can always ask it in different ways. But desire for desire is the spiritual underlying transaction. What do people want? In fact, I wrote a series of questions you need to be asking. What do people want? Like I'll get there, but when I'm teaching, I have a bunch of questions you need to be asking in every relationship you're having, because everybody is connected. The first question you asked, one of the things that happen is that when God takes you to higher levels spiritually, right? What it means is that you now have greater power of God active in your system. So if new thoughts, if negative thoughts coming, or your old memory when you were at a certain stage, growth stage spiritually, if you think them, if they resurface, something is going to happen, because your power grid is now here, but those thoughts are here. The old they used to have on your body to control behavior, muscular behavior, you are greater than those things now. And so simply moving your body, simply exercising, simply stretching, you will hear the snap of those. Like, you are, it's like if the energetic state used to move you and make you behave this way, right? Literally the energy that moved people's behavior, right? But now you are more in charge. You now have more power above those things. When they come into your system, or you remember who you used to be, or a thought that was saved in your system with your previous version of you, it's like if you are at a certain age and then you suddenly stumble on a clothes you used to wear when you were 10, and you try to wear it, it will tear. You are bigger than the energetic suit, than that vibration. Right? If they come again and say, wear this shirt, like, so, right? Wear this shirt. Or if you attempt to wear a shirt that is smaller than you, if you just do your shoulder like this, what would happen? It will tear. It doesn't fit anymore. So many times, once God elevates you, the past self still needs to be released. How you used to think that is too small for yourself right now. If those feelings, those energetic vibration comes through your system, you will feel they are small. You're not going to use those thoughts again. And so simply exercising, simply stretching, you might hear things snap, because it's a hold. Many people may not realize that the body, the behave, right, action, right, your central nervous system, your muscles they contract, they are right, the power contracts and leads motion. Well, if people used to behave, when I was a child, I used to do like this, I used to do like this. Now you are fully grown. If the same thoughts of your childhood comes, you're not going to repeat that behavior. You're going to ignore it. You're going to release it. So some energy stuff can come up, but because you've grown past that, you've dealt with it, you have to have the practice of letting it go. You could exercise, you could breathe, you could just, right? You might have, right? So because you are living a continuous life, once you start growing spiritual, many people can be stuck spiritually, not growing. So the energetic state is the same, but physically they have age, but they are behaving like a child. Why? Because their pattern of thinking is still how they used to think when they were teenagers. They didn't change behavior. But when you grow spiritually, part of spiritual growth is your behavior will change, your beliefs will be renewed. You won't think, renew your mind, guard your heart. Your outlook on life is supposed to evolve. When you evolve and you get past those things, well, if you remember who you used to be, the energetic states can come back. But now you're like watching the movie of your childhood, or how you used to allow people to treat you before, any of those things. But you're not going to be hungry because you're also past that. If you're forgiven and you feel forgiven, when those things come back, they want you to get angry again, and you're like refusing to get angry. Guess what? It has to pass through your system and you release it. That's complete cleansing. So there are times when, you remember I've been including in the school, how to your spirituality, physical movement. Move your body. Your body is the recipient of when all is said and done, your body is the one receiving programming. It's the one being programmed on behavior. Behavior is a programming of beliefs. So the more physical, so they are all connected. Spirituality is connected to physical activities. Just so Christians understand. The more you move your body, the more in control of your body you have. People who don't move their body, but they pray, they are not still in control of their body. Because if you cannot get your body to move, to do what you are supposed to do, go where you are supposed to go, because that's freedom. Exercise of physical freedom is, you can say, I want to do this, right? The whole world is yours. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, right? You get to a place where you feel you can move. Part of the indication of people who are not emotionally free is they sit down, they complain, they don't move. Because that's one of the old. People who don't move physically, something is off. Something is very, very off. If you sit down too, right? So add to your spirituality physical movement, because the moment you can get your body to be listening to you, obeying you, doing things, you're already breaking a cycle. Because your body, self-control, if you can control your movements, if you can say, okay, I'm going to exercise this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, the more of those things are in your control, that means your body is under your spirit. But if you cannot get your body to go out and do this and do this and do this, I'm like, and you're like, if I do this, what would they say? If I do, well, that all of those internal stuff that goes on in people that do not let them do exactly what they desire to do is connected to a soul tie. Because whose thought is then ruling that person? whose thought is ruling that? Because many people have dreams. They want to do this, but some people just go, but they suppressed. So people can suppress other people's desire with words. So we'll still get more into it though. Any more questions, Tim?
I'm good, Coach. Thank you.
Okay, good. Nishila.
Ready for today, Coach.
Oh, but yesterday, well, how did you process yesterday's?
I guess the one question I had from yesterday, but I was in and out, so I would have to watch the replay if you addressed this. In terms of people pleasing in marriage and how that looks.
What part of marriage? Be specific. Oh, you just want general.
Let me be very specific. Let me say, okay. So, for example, you're in a marriage and then confusion just comes, and it's like a very nonchalant, it's very small argument that someone can just say sorry and you're on to the next thing. But you find that if you apologize for it, or even you want to keep the peace, so maybe you say, okay, I'm sorry, whatever. But you find that the other person wants to hold a grudge on that, and you're like, okay, what are we even talking about?
Okay. This is good. This is very practical. Yesterday, yes. I covered. Do you feel you are responsible for controlling your spouse's emotion?
Personally, no.
Okay, you are free. So I explained the difference between codependency and interdependency. So one of the things that, because there's so many, it depends here, but generally speaking, most people that enter marriages may not have fully developed to be independent of others, because many people come out of family of origin where they've not healed their family of origin codependence. When they move into marriage, their choices may actually be based on codependency, not being an independent person. Is that if people start out in the marriage based on neediness, I need this from you. If people are not complete unto themselves, if people have not grown to a place of independence and they're coming into marriage to bring positivity into marriage, to offer themselves, if they come into marriage to take from others, like they see you and say, oh, this is what I like that you are doing, I'm going to take. You will do this for me. You will be this for me. You will be that for me. You will cook for me. You will clean for me. Everybody has a shopping list, spiritual transaction they come into marriage with. If you don't come in with, I'm ready to love on someone, I'm ready to care on someone, I'm ready to give of myself. If both sides doesn't come in with giving attitude, or if one person came in with I'll give, the other person came with I'll take, and the person is not groomed to be a giver of love, but is constantly sucking. As I said, each person has their own context. Go back to the foundation of your marriage. When you were making choices, was the person promising you love, to love you, to give to you of themselves, to care for you? Or was the person saying, I really like you? That interpretation of love is, listen, the way I feel around you, what you can do for me, my life will be better. Right? If it is only driven by taking, well, that person will be entitled, would likely carry an entitlement personality all through the marriage. Because what there happens is, if the transaction is you're going to do this, the moment you don't do that for them, who they become when they are not getting their way, when you are not acting the way they want you to act. When you are not who they want you to be for them, when you don't meet their expectation, because expectation is driven by spiritual transaction. I have this desire, and I thought you agreed to meet this desire. And when you don't meet this desire, listen, you didn't meet my expectation. Who people become when they are triggered by somebody not doing for them what they wanted that person to do. It's on that person's personality. If you think it is about you, then you are like not getting the whole point. However, if you genuinely are self-reflective and you believe that you could have said something better, you could have said it a better way, your job is to take personal responsibility for yourself and engage with the person based on your own personal responsibility, and then let them hold their own responsibility to suit themselves, calm themselves down in the way they want to. But here's the key: you also have a right to observe how they do that. Because this is the union of marriage, this is intimate relationship, it's not strangers. Is that how they regulate themselves is a demonstration of what's going on inside them. Their ability to suit themselves without you, to come to a place of resolution without you, is a character you need to observe. Who people become and how they act and behave when they are triggered is their own programming. But if you are the one that triggered them, the key is you are not responsible for how they react. You may be the one that triggered them. You can apologize for being a trigger, but you don't need to apologize for how they responded, because that's on them. You are not responsible for how other people behave, but you can be responsible for what you said and did that shifted their peace. But then how they bring peace to themselves and suit themselves is their own skill. And how you suit yourself is your own skill. However, because you're doing life with people, right? Iron sharpen iron. How does iron sharpen iron? But who you become and who I become? Choices. Now, another thing, that's because this is an entire whole topic, right? Another thing I encourage you to consider, please, guys, is what typically happens is that your personality may be more tolerant. You may be more of a chill person, and you will say, wow, this small thing. So what you may call small thing may mean something different to the other person. So the respect we must also develop is not to superimpose our personality and rob other people of their own self-expression in their own way. See, you may do some certain things to me, I'm like, I'm done. You do it to somebody else, the person can clock for 5 days. Why? Because the meaning people attach to things, the value system that people have is not the same. So you cannot use your own value system to determine other people's value system and how they respond and what those things mean to them. And this is tied to when I start talking about understand your partner's insecurities and understand your own. Because if you go there, ego will defend both the secure and the insecure side. There are sometimes you can't get through, right? So having said, what can you do? Or okay, let me make sure Sheila asks the question. So what can you do? Ultimately, people can get to a place where they can co-regulate, but even to co-regulate, two emotionally mature people can co-regulate, can listen to one another. Like this person wants to speak, this person must be ready to listen and respond positively. Like, I hear you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. This. This person too must be ready to listen to this person. But most people are not ready to listen. They're still in their feelings. So everybody needs to first learn co-regulate, right? Self-regulation. So two people who know how to self-regulate themselves, who know how to understand and interpret what they're feeling and emotion without blaming other people, but can sit with themselves and can see what's going on within me. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I this? Why am I that? If you can process yourself first, then you can co-regulate with other people. Because if you cannot process yourself in an attempt to co-regulate, if that person says something, they can trigger you again. So only people who have the skill of self-regulation can move into that higher level of co-regulation in the most positive way, because you actually have to sit still and listen to another person express what is going on within them without you judging them, blaming them, wondering why they are right. You actually have to sit still and receive what other people have to say. And when anybody is not ready to be transparent enough to actually process and bring what's inside them, because it's a communication, co-regulation requires communication skill. Nobody's going to read your mind. It's your responsibility to express yourself. And so if people haven't even developed the skill of using their mouth to interpret their energetic vibration and bringing it from inside them to present it, they can't co-regulate, because first you must even understand what's going on inside you. But they want people to enter them. No, you have to do the inner work of understanding what's going on inside you and what happened. And that story is what you share with another person. And you allow the other person to contribute to bringing those stories to a place of peace through mutual respect. Oh, okay, let's see. Culture where you came, okay, generally dictates that the woman must. You're saying culture, okay. The woman must always bend to please her husband. Okay, fine. I grew up doing that in my house. You apologize multiple times to the dad on your knees before you are heard. You saw your mom do it too. Okay. And that's why, remember, yes, see, I'm very direct. That's why you have people who are godified figures. That's why the culture will create mini gods that people will appease and bow to. And but do you know they don't grow? These people, they never grow, because other people are carrying their ego. Other people are doing the emotional gymnastics for them. Everybody's carrying, bowing to them. So they never grow. They never grow. They become babies for life. And so the parental figures you have to nurse their ego, make them feel good, because guess what? They will always throw the responsibility of suiting themselves. Like everybody's responsible to suit them. They are responsible for nothing. Well, they never, right? So they never take responsibility. Those people never grow emotionally, because anytime they flare up, everybody's like, sorry, cool down. Oh, we are sorry we triggered you. We are sorry we got you upset. Oh, okay. Well, what can we do to bring you back to, in fact? So everybody else is responsible for their own emotional trigger. So they are never responsible for changing, transforming, and growing up. So most of those times, you have emotionally immature men growing in this society. They can't handle stuff. So everybody else is handling it for them. Right? The entire clan must, what can you do to come? They are emotionally responsible. I'll tell you, see it for what it is. If you have to be bowing to people, if you have to be appeasing people, if you have to be dancing around people because they are upset, they don't grow. The environment such people create is unhealthy. Everybody will be like, what would they say? What would they say? Nobody, yeah, so that's not healthy. No matter what culture said, they're creating untouchable God, right? And the Spirit of God, that's not the Spirit of God. If you want to hear the truth, I'll say it. They're just creating an environment where it doesn't bring peace. There's no peace in, like, that's all of that's drama. The spiritual atmosphere is toxic. You see? Because in that atmosphere, all kinds of stuff moves in. What is saying people should bow is not the Spirit of God. It's not. If you want to hear the truth. if people start walking away from these people, like, in fact, try this, just leave the house. People have to learn how to regulate themselves without blaming other people or transferring all the negativity on other people, because people pleasing and the people who are on the other hand, they dump negativity spiritually around them. Their aura is always not clean, and that's why everybody's like, let's sweep, let's clean up the atmosphere, let's clean up the atmosphere. Everything they dumped on other people, well, okay, let's clean it up. So the cleanup team has to come to appease. But ultimately, if you leave, if people start understanding this thing, all you have to do is just leave people alone. Let them sit in the atmosphere they created by themselves. Don't even go near them. Leave, like, move away. You go and play and have fun. Everybody should just leave that person and go and have fun, and then come back and see if the person will not eventually learn how to regulate. When they are hungry, there's nobody there. When they are okay, do you understand? Everybody needs to grow up and stop blaming other people for their stuff, so that everybody can jointly create a more positive atmosphere. But as long as somebody is still saying you are the this, you are the that, and they are not thinking of taking responsibility for the collective atmosphere, then nothing changes, because it continues forever. Those people will never change. Why would they change? Everybody is doing all the work for them. But I'm saying, one of the things you can really do is just you go and have fun and go and live your life. Go and come back. Give them hours and hours to cool off and sit by themselves of themselves. You realize that people will start waking up. When, right? Because some people can be like, baby, anyway, I shared it yesterday. So, okay, team. So thank you for sharing that, because it's not just you. I'm just trying to say that is not an healthy thing. And people have been empowered to put their responsibility of self-regulation, putting it on other people. Now people have to become pacifiers. Let's see. Tim, do you want to say something, and then I'll kick off?
Yes, I remember what I wanted to say about my question. So I was like, you know what's going on, you know the truth of what's happening. Shielding them from the truth they need to face. Is it okay to just say no, or you should actually tell them that this is the truth they need to face?
I think it depends on It depends on the type of relationship, how intimate it is. Right? Remember I said intimate relationship, friendly friends, strangers. If you see a stranger throw tantrum, are you responsible for engaging? No, you're not. Your friends, you have to understand what types of, if you have friends that love the truth, people actually have to love the truth to sit around what I'm teaching. Do you know that? The truth that will set people free. Anybody that doesn't want to hear the truth, that wants to be only to be pacified, and you call them friend, but you know they're not going to listen to you, you have to evaluate that relationship. You can only share the truth with people who want to hear the truth. And even how you share the truth, you must know the person you are sharing it with and the best way to share it with them. That's why I prefer, in my school, the only way you come to this place where I can speak freely with love is because you are open to receiving the truth. I don't go out there and say, oh, let me tell. In my private life, I'm actually one of the most private people ever. I don't get involved in anybody's business. But when people come into my school, it's already a signal that people are seeking the truth. They want to be empowered. They want to be whole. They want to build wealth. And so that's what makes this work I don't go out there and start telling people how to live their life. So you also have to understand what relationship is this information going to be on. There are many people you're in relationship with that they don't want to hear the truth. So you leave them alone. But make sure you tell yourself the truth. You see? Make sure you program yourself with the truth. And let them program themselves with, right? Make sure, this is where the power of detachment is. If you are in relationship with people who are living lies or who are bought into certain culture that is making them produce a behavior that is so similar to narcissistic tendency, listen, it's not your job to correct the narcissist. It's not your job. Unless the narcissist is ready to transform. They've opened it, right? Jesus did not go out healing everybody, but there are people who say, Jesus of Nazareth, have mercy on me. They got Jesus' attention. Jesus helped them. So even spiritually, you don't go out there offering people what they are not asking for. You leave them alone. That's why I'm saying it depends on the relationship. However, if they are your friends, they are your intimate lovers, then the quality of your relationship is going to be optimized. The more truth you share with that person, then please tell them the truth. But also have intelligence on how best to present it, because that's another training camp where you try this, doesn't work. Try that, you'll be like, okay, you know what? What's going to work? Because there are certain things people can see in others, the person cannot see. And there are certain things you might be doing, other people can see. But if you have the positive relationship where people are ready to hear the truth and they're humble enough, it takes humility to allow other people to give you feedback. But there are skills. If you want to give people feedback, you have to have the skills. You have to love people. Okay, let me give you an example. I love giving example. That way people understand what I'm saying. David was on a business taking another person's wife. Who will call the king? Someone that said, father. Who will tell your father his behavior is funky? Abraham took his wife, called sister, king. Who will correct these godified figures that society has elevated and they think they're untouchable above the law? Who will tell them this ain't right? Who will tell David what you did? Who? That's the key. Because these people are controlling territories, principle. They are controlling domain. They are always in charge. But the people who want to get away with this thing. So first of all, somebody must raise them above the law. They must believe they are really above the law of humanity. That's the only way they can continue with these behaviors. I'm telling you. So the first thing that happens is they must be elevated in society. All of the people not doing this work, they are titled, they have position, because that's the only way they believe they can get away with low vibrating people and dumping stuff and making other people responsible. They seem to feel like, oh, I'm giving you money. So, but they are always people that somehow they have title, somehow they have position, somehow they have power, somehow they have influence, and they think they are above decency of respect and honor for mankind. Right? So they think they can behave anyway, talk anyhow, do anything to anybody, and there is no boomerang. That's the only way people can be going with that behavior. They've not been corrected. Well, so who will correct David? Who will correct the king that think they can be touching somebody else? Well, God in heaven, for those kind of people, I say report them to their creator. I'm telling you. When they are too big, too nasty, because in the spiritual is will for will, power for power. When they are power, that's why God opposes the proud. God himself said he will put a stop. He himself will use his power to oppose people who are proud, who are doing all kinds of rascaliness upon the earth. So call God. There's some people back off, but telephone, hello, daddy. I see them. I just saw one of them. This is what they are doing. There are laws. Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. They are touching, Lord. I am anointed, Lord. Have the conversation with God, because God is the one ultimately that can engage fully with certain people. Fully. Back off. It's not your job. Go and sleep. But before you sleep, send your own message to your father and report all of it. Right? Everybody needs to be calling because there are some people who is going to tell David, King, what you are doing is. So God knows what he will do. He has watched what the guy is still going. Some people are doing rascaliness upon the society, thinking they can get away with it until they encounter. Right? Christians just need to pray so that God will move on their behalf. Just ask, move for me. And so yeah, God said he sent his prophet. But you know, the prophet too has to be smart. The prophet came up with a story, presented the story. David heard the story, and immediately David said, this person, I said, hey, it is you. So you still have compassion, you still have a heart. You're the one doing this rascaliness. And then God engaged immediately. But who else could have done that? Only God. Because this ruling king, the authority figure, the person with the power, with the influence, with the this, is the one behaving the worst. And who will correct such a person? God knows that. He said he will oppose the proud. Whoever shows pride and arrogance and says you should be bowing, go and report all of them. No matter what their position, God knows how to deal with everybody. With mercy, but he will surely engage with such people. You guys are not just praying those prayers. You are tolerating nonsense. You don't know how to pray. If you want Bible, I'll open Bible for you. Go there. Laban and Jacob. If you leave it up to Laban, well, Jacob will be telephoning. The guy is bringing behavior. God, you saw that. Give me another strategy. God was just downloading heavenly strategy. So some more, right? Uncle and so this is them. Laban to Jacob. What would you, right? Is serving somebody with that kind of behavior. What would he do? What would you do to what would he do? Other than go to God and say, this is a condition. This is character here. Character. He left his own father's house. He's living with character. What will he do? If he's not ready to leave and find something else, well, he has to pray and get heavenly strategy. So all that Laban did for him, that's the one that is recorded in the Bible. I'm sure all the other stuff. So it's a tie, it's a soul tie. But if one dimension is the person in his position is living in Laban's house, so he doesn't have authority over Laban. If he's not satisfied with Laban, leave. But you remember when he was ready to leave too, he was wise enough to leave in the middle of the night. Yes. But what happens is that when people are not taking a step back to evaluate the character of the people they are doing life with, that's the one I'm saying you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to say, is this person a good person? Because if you put people in position and power and give them power and they have influence and they have authority, who they become is their truest identity. Is their truest identity. And if they're not a good person, you better know they are not a good person. They might love. You see, everybody knows how to love the people that they are happy with. And they know how to treat other people. The difference is, what is that thing inside them that makes them go up and up and then low with certain people? It's disrespect. They know the people when people start feeling they can respect certain people and disrespect certain people, that stuff is not right. Everybody must be respected. Whatever you do to the least of them, that you've done unto me. So if you find people that choose to respect certain people and disrespect, they are not good people. What do I mean? They are good. Let me be careful. they are good, but they carry disrespect and dishonor inside them for part of humanity. And so they give it to people they feel are powerless. And when they engage with people more powerful than them, they will do up and up. That's not how God said we should do life. Everybody deserves respect. Every human should give everybody respect. And respect is when boundaries are not crossed, whether spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, physically. Respect is where love is administered with dignity, honor, and you don't, right? Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Respect is why people will not trespass. But people who don't respect your boundary, who want to control people, God will engage with those people. So, Timothy, simple question, but it all depends on the person's receptivity, the person's personality, the type of relationship you have with the person, and if you feel any form of responsibility for guiding that person to change their ways. Because to change behavior is a personal decision people have to make. Yes, you cannot change anybody for anything. And also, there's this rule I remember in corporate. Approach, if you want to enjoy corporate life, if you want to live in peace in corporate, approach corporate as a consultant. Like, be an internal consultant on your job. It's a different personality. That way, even if you present the best ideas, if they don't take it, you're fine. Because you've not tied your emotions to whether people accept or not of your best recommendation. That would save many people. Like many people will find peace and joy on their corporate job if they don't tie their emotions and feelings to whether other people approve of them. No, internal consultant means based on my best skills and experience, here's my recommendation. This is what I believe we should do. This is the pro, the con. I will do all the research. Give you my best. Whatever you decide to do is on you. And it will be dependent on whether you respect my voice or not. And that's not on me. I will do my own part. And even if you don't do it, that's okay. I collect the salary, I go and sleep. I've done my job. I've done my job. And the tendency really is, if you go that way, everybody will welcome you. You'll be well respected because you are always happy. You are always free. You are not entangled in other people's opinion, judgments, blah, 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 blah. If you want to know more, I can give you more research. But listen, I'm going home happy, fulfilled. I've done my job. Whether you take this recommendation or not, I pray you are smart enough to listen to wisdom. But if you're not smart enough, that's not my responsibility. But many people are so emotionally entangled. Imagine when I gave this person. What is it? You're being paid to offer your best. Offer your best and go home and sleep. And then let them decide what they want to do. And you realize that you'll be going up and up if you can detach from all the emotional stuff people do. You are a real professional if you can get to that level of being an internal consultant, not trapped in a lot of political waste of energy and time. When people start clocking, I'm like, see ya. When you finish doing all the meetings after meetings and the meetings after meetings and the meetings after meetings that waste time and energy, let me know what you've decided. Because some people just are here to be clocking and clocking. Well, clock, because you need it to feel important. When you are all said, 1 line, 2 line, what's your conclusion? Summarize all of this clocking. Have you decided which direction you want to take all these things? Clock, go round, but just your decision. People still have to make decisions. You see, no matter, because making a decision is the most important thing. Anybody that doesn't want to make a decision will go round and round, wild goose chase. They'll just be right weeks. Have you made a decision? Have you made a decision? That's leadership. Because eventually, decision is what moves people forward. Anyway, I just added that one. Bonus. Okay. Yes. Let me quickly. Yes, we good? Tim?
Good, coach. Good.
Okay. So let me get in proper to the topic of today. Soul ties, right? Rewire your emotional blueprint. And the other side is more of using spiritual laws. And spiritual laws, right, govern spiritual transactions. Okay? Spiritual laws govern spiritual transactions. Just like physical laws govern currency, how you're going to buy and sell in the physical world. There are rules of what currency you're going to use to trade in the natural world. And there are laws of commerce in the natural. Yes? How people transact. Remember trade by barter. How you exchange physical products for money. Laws govern it. What you can buy, what you can sell, and what currency is accepted based on location. There are laws. So what also is happening spiritually, energetically as well? There are spiritual laws that govern spiritual transactions. There are energetic laws that govern energetic transaction. For spiritual laws, it is will for will, power for power. will, who has the strongest will? You know, when they say strong-willed child, many times people break the will of children because they want to overwhelm and rule the child. Because you cannot rule people who have strong will. It's will for will. Yes, it is will for will. So a lot of times, when people want to control, they use their will, their strength, their power to overpower people who have smaller will, who cannot resist. Because in the realm of resistance, it is power for power. You have to use power to engage, right? Force. It's force for force. That's why Jesus came to give you the biggest force ever. In my name, do this. In my name, do that. Do you see that? Transact with this currency. This currency carries all the power. I've given power in heaven and on earth. Whatever you want to engage, whatever two of you agree concerning a sin here, it will be done in heaven. That's transaction. And Jesus gave you his entire bank account. Right? The currency of power of heaven and earth. Jesus said, in my name. But he's only going to move also with his approval. You can't use God's power to do what he didn't approve of. So within the laws, spiritual laws, Jesus is saying, the currency of my power instituted in heaven and on earth. When my name is mentioned, there's a force that is released, and use that force to engage, to transact upon the earth, to move things out of your way, to resist the enemy, to do this, to do that. In my name, do this. Nothing shall be impossible. You see, there is a force that comes out of what Jesus has done for us as Christians. And spiritually, you can use it to engage in transactions. Yes? Whatever you bind and look, you're getting things done. You're getting things done in God's kingdom with God's power that he approves, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. When you want God's will to be done on earth, what are you going to do? You are using the will of God to exercise authority upon the earth. Submit your will under the will of God, and then you can resist. You receive the power to resist, because the will of God is the law of God. The will of God pushes its own agenda forward. Your own will push your own agenda forward. Other people's will is pushing their own agenda forward. So what agenda do people have? What agenda do you have? What is God's agenda for the world? And who is going to use God's power to advance it? My church will move forward, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. meaning there's a force and a movement in God's kingdom that enforces that God's will be done on earth. And the power you will use is the power in the name of Jesus. That one, it advances everything. Okay? Now, there's also in the fourth dimension, where force is, right? Physics. Force moves things. Inertia. Things stay where they are unless a force is exercised. Christians, the church of God is a force upon the earth. When you are bringing God's kingdom down, you are making room, and you are shifting the atmosphere. So when force is applied, right, motion is activated. Things remain where they are until a force is applied. When you apply force, things move, they shift. Activities are, right, movements happen. One of the places movements happen is in the fourth dimension, energetically, that is not physical. It's not physical yet. Right? Physics, chemistry, biology is governed by spirituality. And the middle is quantum. Right? The unseen world where words and thoughts create things. So the way I want to explain soul ties, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put out here some of the transactions people make in the fourth dimension. Desire for desire. But think about this. What do people want from you? And what do they want you to do for them? Please write this down. So important. What do people want from you? What do they want you to do for them? What do they want to do for you? See, I have a list, so it might seem the same, but it's not the same. What do people want from you? Extraction, right? Where you will do it for them. What do they want to do for you? Right? Demand and supply, give and take. What do they want you to do? What do they want to do with you? If somebody says, come for what? When you come, what will they do to you? You don't be clueless. The intentions of people. When they invite you, come to my party, come to my house. To do what? To have a good time, to play, to enjoy, or what else are you intending? What do they want to do with you? You want to dance with you? You want to dance? Is it just to dance? Or do they want to take something else? Right? You need to. What do they want to do about you? You know, some people write and spread information about other people. What do they want others to do to you? Gossipers. They invite other people to say, look at that guy. Pa, 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 pa. Council of the ungodly. Abi? Scornful. People who have been scorned, bitter people, when they pick on one person. What do they want other people? They might not say they might not go directly, but they might do transaction and engage with other people and say, recruit other people and say, you need to understand that. What do they want others to do to you? What do they want others to do about you or know about you? Gossipers. Gossipers. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They're spreading information. What type of information? Good information or? What do they want other people to believe? What do they want other people to feel? What do they want other people to do? These are all transactions influenced by behavior, thoughts, actions, beliefs. They're all happening all around you. How do other people feel about you? How do you feel about other people? What do you believe about other people? What do they want you to do to them, for them, about them, that will make them happy? The people who love you will say, what will make you happy? What can I do? How can I serve? How can I serve you to make you happy? But a lot of times, be also careful how you are serving, because many people have been entrapped on that journey. Israelites went to Egypt to eat food. While they were eating food and doing good life, they didn't know when their host turned into something else. Don't party too long. Don't party too long. People can shift. They went to eat good food and be protected. Before they know it, the same place they went to eat food, Jacob went to take cover with mother's brother. What did they turn? What did the transaction do? So some transaction can start out up and up. You stay too long, it can flip, but you are supposed to read the quantum enough to see if there are spiritual shifts, because the transaction can shift. The agreements made when the Israelites came, they made room for them. They welcomed them. That was love. Love welcomed them, took care of them, engaged with them. Yes? When love became another person rose up in the same land and said, "Who?" They used a different high, a different agenda, and looked at the same people that before it was a high of love. Now it's like, these people are growing so big. Intimidation. If they keep growing, they might take over this land. Before they realize identity, let's change them. Let's take over and rule. Let's become bigger. And then put them to work to build the kingdom. Transaction changed. Many people, one of the things that happened today is they carry the memory of when those relationships was like up and up. And then wrong loyalty makes people remain where they should not remain. They did this for me, they did this for me, they did this for me. So you should remain a slave. Listen. And just God says, give me my people. The God that gave Israelites to Egyptians, he came for it. He said, give me my people back. I'm the one that brought them. I can take them when I'm done. If God gave you for people to care for, and they turned, and instead of, right? I usually say this in the religious circle. Peter, feed my sheep. If the shepherd starts smacking the sheep, beating the sheep, and the sheep starts saying, blah, blah. Well, the owner of the sheep can say, shepherd, it's enough. Back off. I am no longer employing you. Let me go and find and recruit another shepherd. Do you know that? God can have a different transaction. If the shepherd is smacking, not doing the best job, well, the owner of the sheep of souls, the father of all spirits, can observe and see the cry of his people and say, shepherd, I employed you to take care of my sheep. You are not doing the best job. It's okay. Saul, anointing shifts to David. God can do that. The God that anointed Saul can say, you know what? It's okay. You tried. But this spirit, this your thing, it's okay. I found me another king. God can do that. So let me explain some scientific side to this. Is that there is a universal communication layer. So I want to take you into a space that exists, that is functional, that holds the world together. And there is a communication layer that is universal. What do I mean by that? You are a being that can transfer information. You can talk to God when we say prayer. You can whisper and engage with God no matter where you are. God will hear you no matter where you are in the world that he created. Yes, so you are not here alone. So you are a being that can transmit data particles There's a community. I'm talking about technology of God, spiritual technology, right? You can talk to God. Yes. You can also talk within yourself because you are 3 in 1. Just God created you in his image, right? Spirit, soul, body. You have an internal communication layer, the way you think, the stories you pack, the movies you are watching, inside you, what you believe, your desires, hopes, dreams, aspiration. Inside you are communication layers where your spirit, soul, and body can talk, think, process information in and out. And one of the things I talk about internal alignment is that what happens is if you don't take your internal communication layer seriously, it can be misaligned. Because when God talks to your spirit, information is in your spirit. If you don't quiet yourself, your body may not get the update that is staying in your spirit. One of the most powerful spiritual practice is quietness. Slow down enough to update yourself with information you need for your journey. When you pray, everything comes into your spirit. But after prayer, you need to be quiet enough to download it into your body. That is your own job, to listen to your soul, to listen to yourself, to engage with yourself internally. You have a communication where you can transport info, where you can, and David encouraged himself in the Lord, where you can talk to yourself. Because those who don't talk to themselves, soul tie will make other things. They will prioritize other people's voices and other people will rule them. If you don't rule yourself, like this communication, internal communication layer is how you can control yourself. It's the only way you can control yourself. Because when your body wants to say, you say, don't let it. This is when you can talk to your body and say, don't do that. Or your body wants to go somewhere. Say, God said we should not go. Sit down. But how will that information get to your physical body living in the 3rd dimension physical world if you don't tune your body to listen to you? Many people have not done this work. They're not listening to themselves. Their soul is vibrating. They will say, I know I shouldn't be here, but here you are. You are sitting, your body is sitting in a place. Your soul, spirit are saying, what are you doing here? The body, people's physical body can be in a domain and a space because body is matter. The body is matter. It occupies space in time and it carries mass. So it's something has to, a thought must carry you from where you are to where you need to be. If you don't have the strongest thoughts from your spirit to carry your body and your body obey and move you, people can be stuck doing things they should not do, being where they should not be. God has sent a message, get up. They didn't get up. Why? Because the only force that can make you get up is when your spirit can enforce instruction and your body obeys you. Because the body can be having feelings and emotions, but he loves me. Wrong relationship. And then it turns into God is trying to this is how God rescues people. He will tell your spirit everything you need to know. This guy is this guy is this, don't marry this guy. But feelings and emotion has been activated. Hormones are flooded. the body is in love with the wrong person. But the spirit already got. But if that person is not quiet enough to get that update, you'll be making excuses, intellectual transaction. When the body is yielding to a transaction and the spirit is like watching the movie, when all is said and done, who is leading that body and ruling that body? So you have an internal communication layer where you used to engage with yourself, where you used to guide yourself, where you used to instruct yourself, so that you are the one. This is what we call self-leadership. For you to lead yourself from here to here, go and come and take personal responsibility for those decisions and be ready to say, yes, I didn't come because I don't want to come. It takes incredible spiritual power because it is your spirit ruling your body at that point. So you also have a communication layer open to other people. When you now have relationship with other people that also have 3 in 1, there's this energetic layer that is also a force of serious power. Let me say hold. That energetic connection is the one that creates a lot of soul ties. The bond of peace is the only pure one that God intended the technology to be used, is that you are helping each other, you're passing information energetically, your beliefs, your feelings, all of those things. It's for up and up positivity. But it's also now that communication layer, the same one built for positivity, right? It fell into the hands of other club, and they have become masters of abusing it. They use it to do all kinds of rascally things. And so that communication layer, your physical body has inbox, outbox. People can send you thoughts into your system. You too can send thoughts out through that energetic layer when you're connected to people. When people know your name, it's like if people have your phone number, tan, 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 and they've established connectivity, tan, 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 they can call you, send you a voice note through the quantum, and the quantum is instant. There's no space. It's not time. Everything is now in the energetic world. It's now. Right? Your past, present, desired future is always now. And you can select based on choice to live out. Right? There are infinite choices in that world. What you want to experience in the now is driven by your power of choice. And so communication layer exists where thoughts travel. So when you're thinking about somebody, you're sending them information in that layer. Okay? And because people have not processed a lot of these thoughts, a lot of it, their inbox is cloud. Have you tried people you want to leave a voice note, but it's right? So many people see unprocessed. And a lot of it could also be negative things they're supposed to be deleting or releasing and stuff like that. So I'm going to share a few things that work hand in hand, right? So when you talk about quantum entanglement, is that many people's path in life may have been, quote and unquote, transacted upon. Let me give you an example. Esau and Jacob. These are two children coming into the world. But then there came a story. See that story of how one will act to the other. That means their life, instead of people living an independent life, you go here, you go here, they are woven. But who wove it? Heaven or earth? Or both? So all relationships that is established is energetic connection through which information will travel. But what carries information is the energetic vibration. And if people vibrate high for you, love, joy, peace, they love you, the information that comes into your system will make you happy because it's good for your system, because chemistry is created, right? Emotions is chemical reactivity, hormones traveling through your stream. And so the information that is traveling between people who are related energetically, there is relationship of birth, but then there is relationship of stories. Stories is a different game entirely. And this is where energetic entanglement comes in a lot. So that communication layer, it is energetic vibration carrying information back and forth. But you need to know, because of sin, there are now two lines. One is up and up, positivity. The way God designed it is you can send love, you can send respect, you can have the positive disposition towards people. When they get the message, they remember you and they love you more. But that line now, the ones that make people go through all funky stuff, is that communication layer, negativity, not just, when I even say negativity, please let me add on negative forces so that you understand that there can be intrusion, a virus in the system that climbs that communication layer and wants to deliver negative information instead of up and up information coming from people to people. Yes, And some people manufacture the funkiest stories ever. Don't be in a relationship with those people. That's where Breaking Soul Ties, the workbook, comes in. You have to audit. You have to fiercely audit your relationship. Like, listen, who is really relating with you with respect? Respect is where love is administered with peace. They know where they stop and what they should know. They know what they should not do, and you won't trespass. But if that's where what is happening, there are intruders in that system. You know, even the cell phone has to be encrypted. You know, the technology has to be encrypted. Why? Because people are listening and can want to pull. So even in human technology, encryption is important. How much more the one that comes straight into your system? Well, so this is also, let me introduce something. This is where, when we talk about self-programming, your body needs to be programmed by the vibration of thoughts. If you are not doing it yourself, other people are ready. Your body, this is the key. Other people's thoughts in your system can govern your system to function a certain way. If you don't have your own internal communication system where you know how to clean up, correct, redirect, shape up, and be intentional constantly to be leading yourself. If you're not leading yourself, if you're not guiding yourself with your own thoughts, with your own will, with your own desires, with your own way, because this is the life God gave you. If you surrender that number one duty to any other thing in this world, many people are in a movie they didn't construct. They're in somebody else's movie, and that's the life they are living. Somebody else has programmed them, and somebody else is benefiting from their inaction. This is where a lot of things like suppression comes in. The whole point of suppression is somebody's energy is intruded in that person's life, and that person is not strong enough to push it out. I'm just summarizing it. There's a lot of work there. You know, in the Christian circles, when they say deliverance, listen, scientifically, what does it mean? It's to break the hold of a force that is too big for the handler. Anyway, so spiritual transaction can just be like movement of information particles. Like, just like you are spending money in the physical, energy is being spent and exchanged in the fourth quantum. Is it good energy, right? So you can offer kind words, encouraging words, motivating words. When it lands in the receiver, boom, you jump, right? People are happy. I'm saying that's one line. That's how it was designed. But you are also living in a world where many people are banking, and the whole point is people are abusing this thing. And the two places it will land, your body, your central nervous system, your endocrine system. Your central nervous system receives, it's your inbox. It's the inbox that holds thoughts coming from inside you to outside you, and thoughts coming from outside the world to inside you. Your job, though, this is a manual process. You have to slow down and develop the skill of listening to what came in, and then deciding what you would do with all of the information. And trust me, you're even going to know where it came from. And this is also where feelings and emotions come in. I've held sessions on feelings and emotions, books, classes, courses on feelings and emotions. In cultures where they don't allow you to feel your feelings and own your emotions, all of the effects of all of these things land in feelings and emotions, because that's where spiritual power is exercised upon the earth. There's a whole lot more, but let me just open it for questions, you know, because when my students start asking questions. So, you know, we have the workbook on soul ties as part of the healing. So this is one of the healing practices. And when I say emotional healing, it's literally the effect of negativity on people's inner realities. How do you remove negativity? I'm trying to oversimplify it. Because if God wants to bless you, a lot of the inner work is what is left that people need to do. because once you do that work, you're going to transform. So thanks, guys. Questions? I know the questions might get me answering deeper. So anytime I say emotional healing and all of that, the workbooks is the most advanced, sophisticated transformation program, because it goes deeper than just, human behavioral science. Okay, I see Miss Susan came in. Let's give Miss Susan and then Timothy if you have questions too. Others, if you want to type.
Miss Susan. Just about typing. How are you doing? Good afternoon, all. Quick thing. Could you just quickly summarize for me what is my own job, my own role? I picked that one. Slow down, listen to what came in and decide what to do, because I have to say oh goodness, the work has been phenomenal. I was going through the prayer work and listening to the school is something else.
Yeah.
For me, going through the workbooks, saying the prayers, I decided to do a voice memo. So I have a prayer, put it on my voice memo so I can listen to it. So everything there just voice activated, and I can just listen. And the more I say those prayers, the feeling of openness and warmness, and it's just when the heart opens, and all you can do is just give up love. And that about getting memos, I got some yesterday, but all I did was simply, for me, because I do know sometimes I do get agitated and angry and upset, so I didn't want to get there. So for me, it was a question to quiet myself and figuring out what I really wanted out of the whole thing, and being calm enough to also understand what I want, understand the other perspective, but standing my ground as far as this is what I want. And this is just what I've done all within myself before having a conversation, just being clear, because I just do not want to have that conversation in the physical and everything goes all chaotic, but understanding and giving love and still being in my own space. And what you've mentioned has really helped is it doesn't have to be confrontational unless they want the confrontation, but to remove myself and my energies from that is a priority for me right now. And in my head, I've just been saying, okay, if I can really understand what is my own job, what is my own role, so I can focus on that and not to do what is not meant for me to do. And then the other key parts with the prayer work, the fear of losing control, that's just on point. That was really on point, because oftentimes, because we don't really understand how big and great and mighty God is, and every one seems to project itself. And if we don't stay conscious of who God is and who we are in Him, we lose that connection, and that's where the fear of losing control. Imagine jumping off a cliff.
Miss Chisholm, this is the key. All of these thoughts that come in that stops people from being who God wants them to be, they are forces. Like, this is where spirituality comes into this program. I don't want anybody coloring it. If it's not the Spirit of God, it's something else. God told Adam, who told you so? If God is not the one talking to you, who is talking to you? You think it's somebody. No, it is whatever, it is their stuff using the quantum layer to engage with humans. Stuff that wants to talk to humans they don't have their own communication layer because they have been demoted. So they want to ride on. They just want to be part of the human. That's the same thing that happened in Genesis. This is not just another personal development program. If anybody wants personal development without God involvement, you can do that out there. When it comes to the directness and the fierceness of this, based on biblical faith-based principles, We have to call these things what they are so that we know what we are dealing with. You do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but you wrestle against principalities, powers. The Bible told us. So let's not, just because people went to school and we are living in a modern life, nothing has changed spiritually. The main thing that has changed is Jesus has died for us. So you have power there. But you are living in a mod. So let me just come out directly. If you think this world is just physical, it's shoe and handbag and looking good and doing all these physical things, then people they are so off. They don't even understand. Just because they sent you to learn ABCD 1, 2, 3, but nobody taught you about spirituality, energetics, ignorance of those two worlds. Listen. You cannot be ignorant of the devices running on those two worlds. You can be well-dressed, sitting cool, going shopping, eating Kool-Aid. You do all of that, but make sure you understand what forces are influencing the direction of your life. And engage there. Don't just be sitting, because many things that is happening now, even Christians that ought to open their Bible and understand, something has happened that puts people to sleep, spiritual slumber. People are going in and out of church, but they are spiritually like, the world that you are supposed to be awakened to, that Bible is all about, it's like people are sleeping. And so while men slept, what else is happening in the quantum? Yeah, you're not watching, right? Okay, so you asked this question. I wrote 3 things for you. You said, what should you do? What's your own job in all of this? Number 1, you need to detach from nonsense. I'm very direct. That's the first thing. For any human to believe, listen, because what's going on is that if people don't even understand the work they have to do, they're just sitting around, living in the 3rd dimension, watching news, keeping and scrolling, and that's it. If that's all the life they are living, then fine. That's what, right? But beneath it all, the spiritual atmosphere, the energetic side, is that detaching from nonsense is this concept of freedom. Freedom to be who God has called you to be. Because the day you wake up to your spiritual responsibility,